even when things are difficult. It really doesn't mean that nothing bad happens to you. There's so much happening in the world, but it's how do we perceive what's happening? What is the lens that we show up to our life with? Are we showing up with the lens of drama and fear and chaos? Or are we showing up with the lens of a miracle mindset, with the lens of appreciation, the lens of gratitude, the lens of miraculous thinking, the lens of possibility, the lens of creative ideas, the lens of, well, what could this be instead? That vibe and that attitude is a muscle that must be built up. And when you build up that muscle, it's so strong that it's there for you when the shit hits the fan. A Course in Miracles says, miracles are natural. But when we are not experiencing miracles, the Course says something has gone wrong. So miracles are natural. The synchronicity of meditating 3 days in a row, what happened was you started cultivating an energy of the super attractor energy. You started dwelling in that energy, which is who you are. And so then when you get into that energetic state, what you think is what you will receive. So the number one thing is that you don't stop now. Keep going. When things get good, people want to just bail. Don't bail, baby. Okay. Number one. So when your practice gets great, work it more. And then number two, don't look at all these things like, wow, can you believe it? Look at it like, yes, of course, obviously. When things happen in my life lately, somebody sent last week I got an email from my agent saying, let's talk about another show idea. And then the same week, one of my very dear friends who I would dream of doing something with said, let's do something together. Like these all happen in the same day, right? So, and I just look at it and I'm like, of course, the universe is guiding me. I'm being directed. I'm being shown where to go and what to do. And so when you live, the purpose of the book Super Attractor that you're listening to right now is when you live in that energy of appreciation and joy and abundance and that magnetic force, even if shit's going down, even if you're having a bad day, you can still be leaning into that force of power within yourself, then life becomes extraordinarily magnetic. My hope is that you get to a place where you say, obviously. That's where you're going to get to. Because the more you practice these principles, the more miraculous your life becomes and the more in sync and in flow everything is. Even when things are difficult, it really doesn't mean that nothing bad happens to you. There's so much happening in the world, but it's how do we perceive what's happening? What is the lens that we show up to our life with? Are we showing up with the lens of drama and fear and chaos? Or are we showing up with the lens of a miracle mindset, with the lens of appreciation, the lens of gratitude, the lens of miraculous thinking, the lens of possibility, the lens of creative ideas, the lens of, well, what could this be instead? That vibe and that attitude is a muscle that must be built up. And when you build up that muscle, it's so strong that it's there for you when the shit hits the fan. So being a miracle worker, living a miraculous life, being a super attractor does not mean that everything is working out all the time, but it means that you have the spiritual foundation, the miracle mindset muscle to embrace whatever comes at you with a state of groundedness, appreciation, acceptance, and possibility. We can even look at the difficult things in our life with appreciation. So it's not that we don't want to sometimes look at what's bad, because we have to look at what's bad to know what we actually do want. You have to know what you don't want to know what you do want. And when we look at the things that have gone wrong or, whatever it is, but we look at it as a learning device, or as I say in the universe has your back, as a spiritual assignment for personal growth and deeper meaning, then it's no longer a bad thing. It's just a opportunity to get stronger with the way that we really want to be. And that goes for life lessons and also work experiences. If something goes wrong with my team at our job, we look at the problem through the lens of, okay, cool, this is showing us something that we want to do differently, rather than let's focus on the problem. That problem seeking, right? That fault finding attitude is so low vibe, and you want to be in a solution seeking vibration, which is very super attractor. And I think that simple adjustment can radically change how a business is run. It can radically change how a life is lived. It can radically change how a marriage is in communication. It can radically change how you teach your children to be resilient. You know, when my kid's upset, instead of saying, stop being upset or what's wrong with you, I say, beautiful. You're showing me you have big emotions. There's something that needs to come through. I'm so happy you can fully express this. So seeking solutions rather than problems. If you like this video and you want to get more Gabby, check out the next one right over here.